I got goosebumps already.
There you go. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about some crazy stories that we've had in real estate. I know that I've been in real estate 28 years. You've been how long now?
Almost 20.
Okay, so I got a good story for you. You want to hear a good story?
Tell me.
So for anyone that likes ghost stories, so I had this listing. It's pretty funny. So I had these people call me and they wanted to sell a house. It was a house that I had sold to them a few years earlier. So let me back up. When they bought this house, we went to the house and there was a trailer. It was a house on property. There was a trailer on the property and then there was a big house. And the guy lived in the trailer. And when I went to him and said, what is it? Are you selling the trailer? Are you selling the house? He goes, well, I want to sell the house. And I said, well, tell me a little bit about the house. The house was literally brand new, but built in the 90s, had never been lived in. His parents bought the house. We don't know exactly what happened, but they never moved into the house. Isn't that crazy? So he lived there for 12 years. His parents had since passed away, never moved into the house. 12 years, he said, hey, I'm ready to sell the house. I said, okay, go to meet with him to sell the house. And I ended up having some clients who bought it. So my clients bought the house. They lived there for 2 years. Then they called me and said, hey, we need to sell this house. I'm like, well, what's going on? They go, we don't know. It's kind of creepy. We haven't been able to figure out what's happening with the house. Okay, how do I disclose that? Like, that's kind of a random, that's an opinion. So we put it on the market, get the house in contract. The new buyers come. They go to the school to research for their kids' schools. And the gal goes, oh, you're going to buy that house? That house is haunted. So they come to me and they decide they're going to back out of the contract because it's haunted, and they want me to either prove that it's not haunted. How do you prove the house is not haunted? Or not. So they cancel the transaction. Come to find out, a neighbor comes over and says, no, it's not that house is haunted. What happened is there was some land next door, and if you're familiar with the Newcastle area in Penryn, there's these Chinese walls that were built back in the early 1900s. Yeah. And apparently there were a couple Chinese people that were out there building the wall and fell into an old well, fell into a hole and died. So supposedly that land and this house ended up being haunted. We ended up finding a buyer who didn't care that it was haunted. They were actually excited about it. But how do you prove a house is haunted or not?
Yes, I got goosebumps already.
There you go.
I got one.
We'll start another one. Okay, Frank, what stories you got? We're having some fun with some crazy real estate stories.
This is when I first got started in real estate. I got a call at the office, and a gentleman and his family wanted to see some land in a place called Realty of California. And it was 5 acres, and the purpose for buying it was to grow and harvest strawberries and fruit so they could sell it on the street. Okay, very normal in Realty. And come to find out that someone died in the home of natural causes. The challenge I had is that the people that I was representing as the buyers were from a country called Laos, next to Vietnam. And evidently in the Laos culture and the Mexican culture, someone dying in the home is like no bueno.
Right. Okay.
So they wanted to do a exorcism in the house. So they reserved the house for 3 hours. They had 4 vans that pulled up. They had people in high priest robes. They brought pots and pans with chicken, and they start turning on the burner to the gas stoves, turning on lights. They start doing incense. I never understood about the wild turkey, though. That kind of got to me.
The alcohol or the actual wild turkey? Oh,
the alcohol.
Well,
and
you got to drink.
Yeah, and they performed an exorcism, and I went out and just talked to the horses and myself, going, what the hell did I get myself into? But it's the
Did
first.
It work?
Yeah, they bought the house.
Okay, that's a first. I've not had.
They bought the house. Yeah, my first exorcism. It wasn't probably what you thought I was going to say, but close enough for me.
There you go. So, interesting story about eXp. So, as you know, I've been 28 years in real estate. I say that all the time. And I was here at this event talking to somebody, and they were saying, now that you've been in real estate so long, like, are you ever going to retire? And I have to tell you that probably 5 years ago, I didn't think retirement was ever an option for me. Because, life happens in real estate, and we get busy and we do well, and then markets crash and we don't do well. And I've been through every kind of market that you can possibly imagine. And the thought of actually being able to have some sort of income coming into me that would allow me the opportunity to retire just wasn't even a reality. Well, a couple things have happened in the last 5 years since I joined eXp Realty. Number one, we were able to retire my husband Joe in 2018, a year after we got into eXp. And he's now a stand-up comedian. So that's a lot of fun and entertaining. If you have not seen my husband do his stand-up routine, it is adult content, so you have to think about that, but it's a lot of fun. It gave him the opportunity to retire, and I'm probably in the next year or two going to be able to retire myself thanks to the revenue share opportunity with eXp. And I never thought that that was possible. And it's a company that I just have not, in my entire career, have not seen anything like it that allows us the choice. Now, I don't know that I'll actually retire. I still love all my family.
You retiring.
No, my family and friends, and I just had some great clients call me the other day, and I love, love, love helping them, so I don't really see that. But you know what? I think what all of us want is the choice.
Yeah.
We want the choice, the opportunity to decide if we want to retire or not. And up until this last few months, that's not been an opportunity for me. And I'm so grateful for the people in my organization that now exceed 465 people that I get to help and work with and partner with and lock arms with around the country. I've not seen anything like it in my career.
Yeah, excellent. So I've got an interesting story. About 8 weeks ago, I came down with COVID. They tell me it was the Omicron. That's what they told me. And it took me out pretty bad. Now, I'm one of the fortunate ones that came out of it, where I know a lot of people didn't, and I know people who are still having challenges over it. Our good friend Chris Okamura, he went through some crazy stuff with COVID.
My brother did as well.
Yeah, almost lost his life. And I was in the hospital for a couple of days, but I'm saying to myself, as I was in the hospital, I go, what if I don't make it out of here? What am I going to do? What is my wife Mary going to do? Now, all during those 8 weeks, I had rev share coming in from eXp that took care of everything. Yeah. And I am so fortunate that I had that. And that's the biggest thing I believe about eXp Realty that most people don't even think about, is that you get a check once a month if you want to build your rev share group. And it just keeps increasing and increasing. And I'm very fortunate to be with this company. You know, you and I could work anywhere.
Yeah.
We could. But God had a path for us. We chose eXp. And it's been the best decision I have ever made in my life. And now I get to hang out with people like Marguerite and Joe and her family and Puerto Rico and Cabo and all those places that I didn't have to pay for because the rev share took care of it. So that was kind of my big thing.
Such a blessing.
Yeah.
Such a blessing. I mean, I think that we could talk about eXp again and just talk about how much fun it has become and the collaboration and being able to work with people anywhere. You know, like I was just in Cabo, and in Cabo there was 1,200 people there, and every single person that I met was so willing to help. Like, what do you need? How can I help you? You know, what can I offer you? Or, what can I contribute to you?
Right.
And I've not seen that with other companies. And
nope.
It's funny because I've had people ask me, okay, what's the negative? What's the downside? And truth be told, the only downside I could ever give is the fact that we grew so quickly that some of the infrastructure stuff was a challenge in the beginning. But, I was very hesitant when I joined eXp. I'm not going to lie. I literally kept 1 foot in and 1 foot out for the first year because I just wasn't sure.
Sure, because you've been burned before.
I've been burned before. And I have to tell you, I'm now 5 years in October in, and I cannot imagine being anywhere else because just the fact that you and I can sit here and talk and help and collaborate with each other, and we're at the same company, but there's no financial incentive or benefit for you to help me and me to help you. I just think we all have a vested interest in the exciting growth of this company. And I don't see another company out there that has that same option or same opportunity.
One big fire, baby.
One big fire.
One of my big bucket lists is I've always wanted to go to Italy. And my wife and I got the chance to go back in October of 2021. And I was so fortunate that I was able to go. I just regret waiting to be so old and finally going, because it really moved me just really quick. In Rome at St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican,
Oh, so amazing.
it moved me to tears.
It is.
Okay, I don't know if it's the old altar boy in me of the Catholic religion, but it was just very cool. I want to go back like really quick. I'm fortunate to have a business partner over there who lives in Lucca, up in the Tuscany region, and I'm looking forward to going back. But there's some other things that have come along with it. I'm trying to get my citizenship for Italy now, and I've hired a private investigator to do genealogy on my grandfather on my mother's side, because there's some steps that you can take to make it easy for yourself. And never in my wildest dreams. Now, I could have done this before, but it makes it easier when you have an eXp rev share that can take care of your Italy trip and can take care of the next ones that are in the future.
You know what's funny? I'm going to add to that is because I remember going to Italy years ago, and I'm anxious to take. I want to take our kids back, but I remember walking up to St. Peter's Basilica, and just like the movies, all the nuns walking up and all the birds flying. It was such a trip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so my husband Joe is from Spain, and we just found out that he's first generation American. His parents were born in Spain. So our boys, one of them who's here filming for us today, all of our kids are able to become Spanish citizens, and they can apply and get a Spanish passport, which means that gives them the ability to work there and be able to travel throughout Europe.
And benefits.
And benefits.
And purchase real estate.
Yes, and purchase real estate in Spain.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. There's something else I wanted to talk about that it's.
You want to do a personal one, just you to your group?
Because
I want to do one for my group.
Yeah.
So
The only thing I wanted to do is say something about my book too. I wanted to talk about bucket list, because you said something about bucket
Go ahead.
list. So Frank and I were talking a little bit about bucket lists on the previous video, and he was talking about how it gave him the opportunity to go to Italy. And I'll tell you that one of the bucket lists for me has been to finish writing my book. And my book is called 100 Things I Love About You. You might have seen a lot of posts about it. But it gave me the opportunity to take some time and get the help that I needed with Sean Harvey, who's the publisher of my book, and hiring a great designer, Michelle Weatherby, and a great illustrator. And it's just been amazing to be able to have that time and that freedom and that opportunity to be able to write that book. And if you don't know the story of my book, you can go to 100 Things I Love About You, and there's a quick video about there. And I hope that you'll take the time to read it and see what was important to me on my bucket list.
I have to tell you, she's very humble, because when I got COVID, she was the very first person to bring over her special elixir. She drove all the way from Lincoln to Rancho Cordova, and she brought me some stuff that I know got me better, because I don't even want to know what was in there. All I know is a lot of garlic, which is good for the evil spirits. But this lady right here, the reason her business is so big is because she always puts others before herself. And that's very true, and that's why she is so successful. Thank you.
Thank you.